Hey everyone, Voids here with another video. This is by far the best session I ever had playing poker. I don't know what was going on today. I guess the poker gods are just looking down upon me. But as you guys can tell, I have updated my overlay. If you look in the top right, I actually have my current bankroll. That is how much I have right before I bought into this game. So you guys can keep track of how we're doing. Makes it a little easier for everyone to notice that instead of just going on my page every Sunday when I post right there. But anyways, jump into this hand. This hand got cut off a little bit, so I apologize right there. I had Queen Jack. I've been the aggressor most of the hand. And then everyone puts in the call, my calling, my raises. So I'm just gonna bet right here because I feel like I have best hand. I don't think the king hits them, but he played the hand with king three. So it's kind of interesting. There wasn't any flush draws or anything on the board. We are just starting this session off a little slow, but don't worry, it gets good later on. After that one, I'm looking down at ace queen of clubs. Nothing left to do but just to raise the price of poker as I always do. Gonna go about four times his original bet. Hopefully, we get some of these guys to fold. But I looks like I get like an instant caller. So, like I always said, when someone snap calls you, it's never the best sign. So maybe he has like an ace king, maybe he has some type of pocket tens or something like that. So we're just hoping not too many people call. And looks like we go three ways to flop. Not horrible, very manageable right here. And thankfully, I'm second to act. So right here, the flop goes five queen eight with two hearts. I flop top pair, and I also have best kicker possible. Since I bet three bet kind of big, I'm gonna see bet big as well. I'm just gonna put maximum pressure. Maybe he does have something like ace king. They will be kind of scared, but I get instant snap called. Now here comes another heart. Obviously now there's a flush draw out there. There's also a straight draw, but I doubt there'll be a hand in this hand with like 9, 10, or something like that, or like with a six in their hand. I think it's very unlikely, but I'm gonna slow down and check. If they put any money in, it kind of tells me maybe they do have a flush, but they also check. They can also be playing very slow with a flush draw in the hand. Next, the river gives us a three of diamonds, so a brick for all of us, I would assume. I'm gonna put in the raise right here, and if I get check raise, I'm probably just gonna have to land a folding because unless they're buffing me off with like ace king like that, they probably have a flush, and people at these stakes usually don't like to bluff you that big that often. It usually check raises. They usually have something. They usually have the nuts or like a very strong hand. But thankfully, I get one person to fold. Now it's just onto the small blind, and he puts in the check raise just like I said. So tough situation here to begin with in our second hand of the day. I'm just gonna put in a call, and he had ace 10, so interesting that he put that in. Maybe he thought I was just trying to bluff and play the board. Maybe just based off that I wasn't really playing that many hands to start off with. I don't know. Very interesting right there, but that was the start of a good sign. Trust me when I tell you that. But after that, I had Jack 10 of hearts, another suited connector, and I'm just gonna put in the call. This is not in my three bet range. Like I said, maybe I should start three betting a little more hands just to throw off the flow of gameplay for everyone else at the table. But the person the button actually decides to three bet the original raiser, so it puts me in a tricky position. I'm in between both raisers, and the hand's not the strongest. But I believe I'm gonna continue this hand until I see this another raise. So I'm just gonna throw my hands in the muck. No need to go against this re-raising pre-flop, and we're just gonna watch the end of this hand just to see what will unfold there and to see what kind of cards they're playing with. So the flop comes 8-9 deuce, so I would have some type of straight draw, but the initial raiser actually takes that one down. So now, not too long after, I'm in the button. I look down at ace queen offsuit. I had ace queen earlier, but it was suited. But I'm still gonna raise it up, especially given that the first person to raise it is actually the under the gun position. And now I also have obviously best position possible on the board. When it makes its way with me, I'm just hoping there's not too many callers in between. And then I just gotta figure out the right size to raise it. I went 4x with suited earlier, so I'm thinking maybe should I go 4x once again, or just maybe I just go 3x. I usually don't really like going min clicking, especially during the pre-flop. I know a lot of players do it at these low stakes. I don't know if they're just afraid to build a pot or something, but That's on them. I like to go bigger with my three bets and four bets just to hopefully get people out of the way and play heads up, or even potentially take it down pre-flop. So right here, I'm just trying to decide what's best. I just landed going a little bit over 3x, so which is 20 chips right here. Hoping these blinds fold, which they do. Because if they were to call, that means they would need to have like basically monsters, because that they are in the blinds, and usually blinds have a tighter range than most players on the board. But I get the original razor to fold, and now we're heads up. The flop comes 5-4 queen, so I flop top pair, top kicker. He decides to slow down and check. I'm gonna play this one a little tricky. I'm gonna check as well. There is a flush draw on the board. Maybe I'll try to represent. That's all. I have a flush in dream, but we'll see. Next, the turn gives us a six of diamonds. It's on him. He decides to check, and now I feel like it's time for me to go for a little bit of value. Not too much. Don't want to really scare him away. I just put in a little bit to 10 chips. He puts in a call. Takes a little bit to think about it, so it's kind of interesting right here. I'm just kind of figuring out what could he be doing this with. Maybe he has a small pocket pair. Maybe he has something like sevens, eights, nines. I doubt. Maybe he has ace queen, but he probably should three bet originally. He puts in the bet, so I'm gonna re-raise it right here, and then he re-raises again, but he also does it kind of low, so it's kind of scary. I'm just gonna put in the call. I've already started good this session, and he had Jack 8, so I guess he was just trying to bluff me off. I don't really know why he's calling a three bet like that. If he was playing Jack 8 like that, I feel like he should have just been barreling the flop turner river, not really just calling and checking it, because you want to get me off with good hands and like say that you have like a monster. But very interesting play by him right there. But a whole orbit goes around. I'm back in the button, and this time look at ace queen offsuit. Obviously better than my ace queen that I just had. So I'm just gonna put in the three bet. This time I'm only gonna go three times pot. This one I probably went four times pot, just given that these are two better over cards. Obviously the king beats the queen from my last hand. But I'm heads up once again. The flop comes queen four king. So I have a straight draw, and I have a backdoor straight draw, and I have top pair, top kicker. I also have a backdoor flush draw, so I kind of have a lot of outs right here. So I'm just gonna keep building this pot as big as possible. Maybe go 20 chips right here. He puts in the call. The turn gives us a two of hearts, so really shouldn't connect to anyone right here unless he had pocket two somehow. But I don't really think he should be in this given the board. So I go for another 20 chips right here, hoping that he puts in the call, and he puts in the raise. So right here, I'm guessing he has maybe a flush draw. I doubt he has pocket kings, since I have a king kicker, and probably the worst card in the deck for me of five of clubs. Really tricky position. I'm just gonna check it through, and he had 8-10 high, I believe that was. So I don't know what these guys are going to showdown with, but hey, I'm not complaining. Hopefully, just one of these weird hands doesn't crack me in the end. But after that one, I'm looking down at pocket sixes in the button once again. I guess the button is just my lucky position right here. But before it gets to me, it actually gets three betted right here. Pretty large is four times, so I'm just gonna fold it away. I'm not gonna really go into that hand. It's too scary to play it just like that. And then I'm so sorry, I messed up the best hand tonight. I messed up the biggest hand I think I ever played at 1-2. I went ahead and edited the table. It's the same people at the table. I put up on the right hand side of the screen. You can pull up like the previous hands he played, and like how much people put in the pot and everything. So I put that up right there so you guys can see. I know it's a little small, but you guys can see what everyone had, and then I just edited it onto the screen right there. But I was the aggressor pre-flop. I three bet and I got called. So we went all the way to the flop turn river. I was absolutely just barreling away because I thought this flop was clean for me. Obviously, it's only queen high right there. Yeah, there is a nine, so it got a little dicey, but I didn't think they'll be in the hand with something like ace nine, king nine. And I doubt when do you ever really run into quads, we usually never. So thankfully, the person only had queen jack, and the other person had ace jack right there. So they had two pair, but obviously my two pair with my king was better, and I took it down. Absolutely the biggest hand I think I ever played. Like I said, as you can see, the amount of the pot was 4.32 chips, which is huge, especially given these sakes, because the only max buy-in is four chips, so it's over a whole max buy-in with three people. I should have went all in. Honestly, now I'm looking at it, I didn't go all in, as you guys can tell. Um, but there is, as you can see in the bottom under my name right there under voice, I got all the way up to 11.86 chips. So I was up massive after this one hand. And once again, guys, I am so sorry. I know my editing skills aren't the best. I know. I can't believe I hit delete instead of save. But anyways, this is the hand right after. I was still looking at the previous hands right there just to see how much I actually won. Since I was up big, I was contemplating should I go home with my win or should I keep playing? But I decided since I'm running good and I feel like this video's been good content so far, I was just gonna keep playing. So that's what I'm doing here. I have A6 clubs right here. I noticed in the video I was messing around with my settings, so sorry. I'm actually cutting out part of my screen down there, the full call and raise buttons. I apologize on that. I think my next video is like that too. I'm just going back and looking over some of my videos, but in 2 videos from now, it should be fixed. Not the next one, but the one after. I'm sorry about that one, guys. But right here, the flop and the turn gives us a 4-7-4-5. So I have a potential straight draw on the board. Not really too much, I'm just hoping that maybe my ace high would be good, but then he's gonna re-raise me right there, and I'm just gonna throw my hands in the muck. No need to keep continuing that one going. And this one right here, this one got a little cut off. I was kind of flustered given that I accidentally cut off that big win with my pocket kings. But I'm recording right here halfway through the hand. The guy put me all in with 10 queen, and it's queen high board. And this one I was curious what he had. He had pocket aces, so that's a good fold. Usually I notice, I don't know if it's probably just in these super low stakes, but when people have like kings and aces, they go extremely big. Like they go like one full whole chip or 1.55 chips into like a pot of like point 0.3 chips. So it's kind of crazy. So it's something to keep an eye out for. People don't really bluff. Maybe they're running like so high to like make it seem like they're bluffing, but I don't know. Right here, I had ace queen of clubs. I'm gonna raise it up post flop right here to 0.10 chips. He's gonna put in the call. The flop and turn came out a 7 king 7 9, so not looking the best for me. But he could easily have a king, and now here comes another on the river, a jack. So I don't have anything. I have just ace high and a dream. I'm pretty sure he has a king in his hand. It's kind of tough. Although I was playing really good and winning high in this series, this video, I'm not winning every single hand. As you guys can see, there's some hands that I get all the way. I don't hit anything, but I'm just mitigating the damage, not putting out too many chips in the middle when I know I don't have best hand. And I'm not really trying to bluff it off or get into giant pots because honestly, I don't want to ruin all this progress and all this I made. Right here, I have ace 10 offsuit. The flop comes 5-4-4. So since I was the aggressor pre-flop, I'm gonna be the aggressor post-flop. He calls, and right here, a7 comes on the turn, so I don't have anything. I slow down and check it, and then he checks back. And now the king, I guess I'm gonna bet right here 75% pot to represent I have a king, and he gets the instant fold. So I'm guessing maybe he has some type of suited connector, some type of holding, or maybe like a low pocket pair. And then I chip down just a little bit down to 11.46 chips. Not too bad, but I'm in the button. I'm looking at king queen offsuit. I call. We go forwards to the flop. The flop comes 7-10 queen. So I have top pair, second best kicker. And now the small blind decides to lead out right here. So which is interesting, especially when the first person actually decides to lead out. So I'm guessing he has either a queen in his hand. Maybe he has exactly queen 10 and just flop top two pair right there. Or maybe he has a high spade in his hand. He has a king 10 of spades, king 10 of spades, or a king of spades, or something like that. So I'm just gonna go put in the call. I'm not gonna go anywhere yet with my top pair. The turn gives us 3 of hearts, so he decides to lead out once more. And so right here, I'm just thinking, what could he possibly be doing this with? Maybe he's just stabbing and hoping like we fold, but he gets re-raised, so getting re-raised right here is really tricky. Someone could have ace queen, so I just decided to fold. There's a spade draw out there. And now the river gives us a 6 of hearts. So no spade draws get there. So So I'm just curious. The small blind decides to check, so maybe he was just hoping on flush draw. And then the guy that re-raised went extremely large. I didn't even look at his hand. I didn't really want to see it, to be honest. He had that one down, so it's on him. Now onto this one. I'm in the undergun +1 position. I'm looking down at Ace King. I raise a bit bigger than what I usually do. I've raised to zero point zero 0.08 chips. And now we're gonna go multi ways to the flop right here. We're just gonna be waiting on the blinds to act. The small blind gets out of the way. And now the big blind, he decides to eventually take his time, but he decides to fold. I just wanted to check his stats because he looks like he's been winning at this table. A lot of us players have kind of been winning at this table. As you take a look, we kind of just been stacking other players and they've been getting out of there. But now, once again, the guy in last hand that decides to lead out one more time. So interesting, but I'm not going anywhere with top pair, second best kicker. The flop was 3 ace 9 with all rainbow. The turn gave us 7 diamonds. So he decides to lead out once more. And I'm just trying to decide. I can't really go anywhere with my top pair. And now the river gives us a 5 of hearts. And now the action's on me. I'm going to check since he's been the aggressor. And depending on what he does, I might just call. But he decides to slow down, check it over. And he just had ace 4. So I obviously outkicked him. And I take that one down. Nice little pot to get back into the green. Right here, I have ace 7 of clubs in the button. And I'm just going to call this 3-bet right here because I've been winning all night. You know, I can afford to open up my pay a little bit as long as I don't go punting stacks away. The flop comes 3 jack ace, so I have top pair once again. Okay kicker, obviously could be a lot better, but now since it's checked over to me, I'm in the button ultimate position. I'm actually gonna be the aggressor in this hand, and now I get one person to fold, one person to call. Now it's on the person behind me to act. I'm hoping he folds, but unfortunately, he puts in the call. So now the turn gives us a 4 diamonds. A nice little pot's building up right here. I don't think the 4 should really hit any of their ranges unless they have pocket 4s. Then we're just drawing dead. But now we're just waiting on the person behind us. He's taking a little bit of time to act, so maybe he doesn't really want to pay his hand, but he decides to check after all. And since I was the aggressor on the flop, I'm going to be the aggressor on the turn. I'm going to bet kind of large into this pot, a little under 50%, maybe like 30% or so. Person after me that called last one obviously is calling again. As long as I'm not getting re-raised, I'm in a good spot. And now here comes a queen on the river. So obviously, if you see, there is a straight on the board, but everyone has kind of mediocre hands, and I take that one down. So now we're chipping up once again. He's looking better at my all-time high right here. So now I'm in the small blind, looking down at ace 3 offsuit. Obviously, ace 3 offsuit is not the best, but you know, you do have a liner to a straight draw, and then you can also have top pair. So, especially since everyone looks like they're gonna fold, I'm gonna put in a call, give some action, and the flop comes ace 8-3 with 2 hearts. My ace is a heart, just if we ever get there, but I have top pair. And I'm gonna be the aggressor. I'm gonna lead out and show that I have a good hand, just like they did to me prior. After that, the 5 of spades comes, so now there is a 2 different straight draws on the board, and he instantly calls. And now here comes the 9 of clubs, and I'm deciding whether I should bet here or not. And I do, just see what he has working with. But he had pocket kings, so I haven't beat all the whole way. You know, he had a really good hand. Just I got lucky on the run out right there. I truly couldn't believe the type of luck I was having with these runouts and everything in the hands I was given. Onto this one, I had King 10 offsuit right here. Flop and turn was 8-7-7-3, so I'm just sitting here with King High, not the best spot. They could easily have one type of flush draw, so I'm just gonna fold right there. No need to play. I lose by a lot, even lose by ace high right there. After that one, I get King 10 offsuit once again, the exact hand after. So kind of interesting right there. How often do you get the exact same hand back to back? But since it worked away with me, no one put any chips in the middle. I'm gonna be the one to raise it. I'm gonna be the aggressor, and we're gonna go 3 ways to the flop right here with the flop coming Queen 10 Jack. So I'm stuck with third pair on this board. Not the best, but obviously I need an ace for a straight or a 9 potentially, and I'm gonna play some pot control right here. I usually don't say I'm in pot control too often, but this is an instance where I do. Hopefully, put the price in and not play a huge pot, just hoping for my ace. But unfortunately, I get re-raised right there. I thought about putting the call and just hunting for an ace, but I decided to play safe and not punt off of all these chips I won, and I decided to fold right there. And I think it was a good decision by me, given that the person after me to act actually folded too. So he took it down, nice play on him on the little re-raise. After that one, you guys know how much I love my ace X suited. I have ace four hearts right here in the big blind. Obviously, with the price that they put in the pot, just gonna hit a call right here and hope I can hit the nut flush or I can hit some type of straight or even top pair, which is exactly what I did. So the flop comes three ace king, sitting here with top pair and potential straight draw. I need a two and a five for that, but kind of dicey given the board. He bets kind of big, and I guess since I was up a lot of chips today, I decided to just put in the call. I have plenty of chips to throw around this table so far. Man, I can even use this to bully people at the table. Now the turn gives us seven of hearts, so maybe if he had a diamond in his hand, maybe he just only had one and he doesn't get there. But now there's queen of hearts, so I do have top pair. Obviously, you can have something like king queen. He can have a heart in his hand. So I'm just gonna check it over just to see what he does. And he takes a little bit to think about it, and he puts on another bet, not big at all. So maybe he was trying to go for value. But then, like I said, I'm gonna try to bully him in my big stack and re-raise it. I maybe should have went a little bigger. He snap calls with king jack, so he had second pair, I had top pair. I take that one down. Like I said, the luck in this video is outrageous, honestly. Now on to the next one. I got pocket kings once again, the same hand that made me all that chips in the beginning. I obviously got a three bet if I three bet the last one. I only go three x, not the biggest. I kind of want to keep them in the hand, see if I can get as much chips in the middle as possible. Kind of hoping they both call. Even though it's hard to play at that, but you can't go wrong on pocket kings. And then the flop comes queen eight jack, so I have a top pair. The board's pre-connected, but I can't really be afraid of flushes at this point, just depending on how they play. He decides to lead out and put in a raise. Like I said, usually when people lead out like that, it kind of shows their strength in the hand. We get one guy to fold. The turn comes another club. I do have a king of clubs in my hand, so maybe if he has a flush, hopefully another club comes in. I'm gonna put in another call. It's exactly what happens. Another club, so I improve the second nuts. Only one card in the deck beats me, so I'm just deciding how much I should put in here. And I'm gonna decide to go pretty large. I'm gonna go with a whole one chip. And he thinks about it for a little bit and he decides to fold. So good play by me. And out of this session, I got all the way up from my four chip buy in to 15.55 chips right there. So about 4x my initial buy in. One of the best sessions I ever had, especially when making this channel so far. That puts me all the way up to 97.66 chips right there, as you guys can see. So we're running good. I'm still building that bankroll slowly by slowly. But thank you guys as always for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Let me know how you guys will play. Let me know if you guys ever got this lucky in one session.